What's up guys, Barry Game here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today, honestly gonna be one of my more structured videos and less just from the hip, because this is kind of an important topic, talking about the Natalia situation with just a single game mode Star Expedition. I want to talk about the good part of this, the bad part of this, the history of nerfs throughout DH games and how they've implemented it and why they did, and on top of that, moving forward, because, well, we do have to address the situation that Star Expedition, it's kind of one of the older game modes at this point. I highly doubt it gets updates. We're going to talk about that specifically, and we have new game modes coming out that have bosses as well that would probably become the focus on everybody's account, because instead of it just being here for what, like a week, less than a week, once a month, we are going to get a game mode that's going to be active every single day, which is kind of good in a way. Hopefully you can smash it, you try to optimize it. We have a couple different game modes that I think are a lot more fun as well at this point, but I want to get this all on the table. So let's get this going. Let's first talk about why Natalia is good. I want to start with that one, and let's talk about it first. So why is this good? Well, if they do just simply fix it and let things stay as is, this means that people can now have much more budget-friendly builds for going into Star Expedition. Right now, there's two trains of thought. Either you are all in on Star Expedition and it's actually hurting progress in a lot of other areas on your account, but you do really enjoy the boss optimization. And then number two is you just want to get away with helping your guild, supporting it as much as possible, getting as many rewards as possible, and moving on. Because I think that's the best thing to talk about first, is not having to invest all these artifacts, all these hero builds, all these things that you're not actually going to use in a lot of other situations. Besides this, simply for these rewards, even as a top player. Because, I mean, if you look at these rewards, let's be honest, Star Expedition is one of the least important game modes you will ever experience in the game. I mean, to be honest, even Guild Wars rewards, I feel like is a better payoff for most, because you're getting avatar frame essence if you care about PvP, you're getting glory invitations for a secondary, so it's like, not only are you generating resources from here, you're getting the glory invitations, which then also give you potential to get even more rewards. Again, mainly just these coins. I will say though that the rewards are nice in the fact that you do get like some resources. Like, let's be honest, this is not even enough to upgrade like a single point on most people's Cloud Island. It is nice to get them, but again, it's only once a month, and like, even if you're ranking low, it's not that, like, let's be honest, like 192 to like 90, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, you're doubling it for pushing and having the biggest whale accounts like ours on the game. So first off, I think it's a really good thing, because number one, the rewards that you get out of this, besides just maybe the enjoyment of the gameplay and figuring out how to set up a boss properly and kill them off, that's one thing. But I do think the fact that Osis is very easy to find, you don't have to go for force or get lucky and get 4-star imprints. You don't need to do any of that, and all you have to do is build a single hero, and then you don't even need these carries like I have. You just need 5-star carries at level 100. And this hero with just like a B tier or a C tier or something like that, you'll still push some respectable numbers so that you can help your guild out, get additional resources. So I don't know how you can't say that's a good thing. Now, if this is the best strategy, then maybe I can understand that a little bit, which we're going to segue now into why this is a bad thing. So why is this bad? Really, it just comes down to one thing, I feel like, and that is FOMO, and the people now regretting investing what they have in their account for a game mode that now has a new strategy. But again, how many games out there stick with the same strategy over and over? Now, you could argue, okay, let's talk about this. Right now, there's 3 different strategies, 2 very optimal. One of them, of course, includes Lord of Fear Aspen. The other one includes Fairy Queen Vesta. Those are essentially the 2 strategies you use, with a fringe one out there where some people can make use of Mutated Fungus G-Stir. It's not really worth talking about competitive wise right now, because not many people can even build it. Lord of Fear Aspen, Fairy Queen Vesta, that is the way. But now we have this new hero stumbling along that requires like 1/100th of the setup to make viable, because as you guys know, I mean, I think we actually have Maybe we got rid of our Star Expedition team. SE boss. Yeah, here we go, right here. So not only do you need, your main hero to be super strong, you need Antlers Cane, which is going to be required no matter what PvE game mode with the boss you're going to go up against. But then you need to invest in this. You need 4 lucky candy bars, 4 lucky candy bars. That's insane. So that's what, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 artifacts that are essentially not going to be used in most game modes once you are pushing more into the end game. You could argue getting 2 Splendid Demon Bells is kind of a requirement for most accounts depending on where you are. So even at that, you're still wasting 12 key artifacts on these lucky candy bars, which you're only going to use for this single game mode that isn't even giving you many results. Like, it's not going to help you in Void campaign, I can tell you that much, because I pushed through the Void campaign. The only thing why I can see this is bad is people have already taken their time. They've already invested in this type of team, and now it's more of a regret situation where it's like, well, I've already got my giant killer copy of Lord of Fear Aspen or Fairy Queen Vesta. Now I have to spend more money to get a Natalia. I can totally understand that because you thought you were going to be in like a good situation. And the other thing is, Natalia is not like god tier in any other game mode. She's literally a support in every other game mode, which brings me to the other part of it's not really bad, even though we're calling it bad right now, just because in a single game mode, she can do some crazy stuff. So I can understand the bad. Most people are going to say this is going to completely trivialize the game because we're already to the point where guilds are essentially killing off the boss, which I can understand, but let's be honest. We're about to get another power-up system that's probably going to make us kill the boss anyway, even if we had the more traditional, super well expensive team setups. That is going to come in the form of this new progression system that we have going for ascension levels, going for more stars. This is just going to give a ton more power because as you guys can see, we're getting more attack, more critical, more increased health. I think we can see here too the translation. We're getting more attack, fixed attack, which isn't multiplicative, but that's not that big of a deal, especially if you do this to a tenant. That's going to be a lot more stats going your way here. More percentage attack, more percentage life. All these things are going to start stacking up, and you're going to have an account that can probably kill stuff anyway, which leads me to my next point of, honestly, I think Void campaign bosses are going to be the next push progress for people who like boss style content. So right now we have Lair Expedition, which I think is a really cool game mode to try to optimize your account and try to push to 900 on every difficulty. Getting to 1,000 is a whole different story because you need like giant killer non-transcendence heroes, which, let's be honest, only the whaliest of whales are going to go for something like that achievement there, which is fine. But this game mode, I think, is going to almost replace progression on your account because, again, let's talk about Star Expedition the bad. It really doesn't give you any rewards except potentially enjoyment if you enjoy it, and I feel like there's still a very small percentage of the community that actually care about Star Expedition. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that comment right there in the comments down below, so let me know. Full blast, whether it's good, bad, let me know. Be constructive criticism. Remember, don't be mean to anybody. Constructive criticism. But this is going to be a game mode with a brand new thing where you're actually going to be getting very important resources on, and you can see there's one for every island. So you're going to want to be able to push to the furthest island in the Void campaign and then beat the furthest boss possible to get actually very good rewards. And not only that, is you can do 3 smashes a day to try to get your progression. Also looks like there's a leaderboard based on some sort of point system. I'm wondering if this is going to be a boss that we can actually kill, or if it's going to be very much like Star Expedition where you just try to do the most damage possible because it's not possible to kill it by yourself type thing. I think that's going to be something very important because these are 2 of the very important resources you need. Granted, the third one is going to be even more important, but this one's going to be like the new event currency that you're going to get from like pay to win events and stuff like that you're going to strive to go for. And yeah, I just think this is going to be one of the most important things because this is a daily challenge. So you can basically take 3 times every day if you really wanted to and try to optimize the best PvE boss killing team out there instead of once a month and just kind of sticking to the same old method of I have to get these heroes, I have to get these artifacts. Well, guess what? I got those artifacts. Now I don't have all these melodic strings, crowns, and all these other things that would actually help me in Sealand, and heck, even Aspen Dungeon, all these other game modes. I think candy bars are like the biggest waste of resource investment you could do, but I can understand why people do it because, well, it's fun. Last but not least, let's talk about the history that DH Games has done with nerfing heroes. The biggest one, I think, came in the form of this hero right here, Fiona, which actually nerfed a lot of other heroes, which was really sad. And it makes me feel really bad because you have other heroes like Inosuke that went from one of the best early game heroes to not nearly as good. And that is because this hero essentially changed the way shields work for the history of idle heroes. For the history of idle heroes, essentially, you could get whatever shield bubble strength you could. There was no cap on it. The problem was that she gave shields based on her attack. So if you had a very strong E5 Fiona and you had a bunch of, oh, I don't know, what were they? Not even 10 stars. There were 5-star heroes chucked in your lineup. You had, where is she? What really broke the game back then, where's Ilaria in this list? Why do they put them up here? You have heroes like this, which basically has a perpetual stealing of attack. So you put an Ilaria on your team to get a debuff on the enemy to steal their attack. You would then have a couple 5-star Delaciums here, basically just replicating the debuff over and over and over again. And you're only level 100, but you did have a very powerful Fiona on your team, giving them pretty much limitless shields, and you'd put an artifact on them that is, again, nerfed to the point where nobody ever uses it again, and that is Magic Stone Sword. There's a reason why all these extra words are in here now, is that because Magic Stone Sword works with shields as well. However, when you have an infinitely big shield and you take 25% of that shield, the enemy's never going to punch through it unless they can hit more than like 4 times in a battle, because your HP pool is this big, but your shield pool was this big. And essentially what this change did was make it so you couldn't cheese Void Vortex, which was interesting because right after that we got another power boost that we could beat Void Vortex anyway without this. It was really weird. Like, they made this change, you couldn't cheese Void Vortex, and then they basically just made it so that it's easier to beat Void Vortex. Like, don't understand. So in that nerf, they've literally made pretty much perpetually 2 things kind of useless, and that is the average shields the way that Fiona worked, which again, if you have a high enough HP pool, these shields are very strong. But again, the strength of that shield caps at 100% of your HP. So you see this, the max shield that Fiona can get is 666,000 HP, which is kind of rough. You don't really notice it that much when you're looking at your main, carry heroes now, like even her getting the shield, because you can get 140 million, is that what she's at? Or she's at 1.4 billion HP, so that's a big shield. However, what that did do is still leave this artifact in the dumpsters, because the way this works is if it does more than your, like, so here's the weird thing. You think, oh, this is still a really good artifact because, if someone deals damage to you, it's only going to take 20% of their HP, meaning it takes 5 hits to kill you. Well, it's a little thing they don't mention. Reason why nobody uses this anymore is because if the enemy does more than 100% of your total HP bar, Magic Stone Sword just doesn't work. If you have 100,000 HP and they hit you for 120,000 HP, this just doesn't affect it at all. At least that's my understanding on how it's been used. So I'm hoping we don't get this level of nerf where it literally makes an item and a type of build completely irrelevant, because let's be honest, like, she's a decent solid supporter everywhere. She's not really a damage dealer outside of this weird Osis setup in Star Expedition. And yeah, that's pretty much why I think they should fix her, but I don't think they should significantly nerf her, because significantly nerfing her hurts the good majority of the player base, and it probably makes the whales a little mad because they have to change their strategy. Simple as that. There might be some, free to play and low spenders out there that have gone for the Star Expedition strategy very hardcore, and they're like, I really want this. That's going to suck for that group of people. But again, I don't know how many people actually push for that type of content, because again, Star Expedition, probably one of the worst reward to investment ratios we've ever had in the game. Like, I don't think anybody can deny that. The amount of rewards you get for the amount of investment you get is the worst possible, whereas most people should be making every single decision on their account based on the Void campaign, because that is the future of the game. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'd love to hear your feedback in your comments down below. See you guys next time.